physically I'm able to finish this. I'm not sure about mentally. I don't know what's going to happen there because I've never committed to something like this.
Hi, Daddy.
All right, it is close to 6:30 in the morning and I have packed up. Everything is on my back, my entire home, and I am standing on my stealth site getting ready to get back to the trail. So last night, I just want to talk about a gear issue. Not really an issue, but I have a 30-degree quilt, which when I ordered it, I added a couple of extra ounces of fill. So I'd say effectively it's like a 25 or 26 degree quilt. And I also sent home my sleeping bag liner a couple of weeks ago. And daytime temperatures right now in Vermont are in the 70s. Nighttime temperatures could range anywhere from 50s to 60s. I think last night the low was 61 degrees. The quilt is a little warm, and I do tend to sweat when the quilt is on top of me with nights that are in the 60s. So it's, if I get out from under the quilt, slight chill, so it's kind of hard to balance. And I do have a sleeping bag liner that is designed for warmer temperatures that I could probably have sent to me, but I'm not sure what's going to happen in New Hampshire and Maine with the temperatures. So it's kind of a strange balance, but I kind of sweated all last night and kept me up a little bit. Not a good picture. So, all right, so today, expecting the high 70s and chance of showers most of the day, cloudy. So probably humid as well. I'm looking for the trail right now. I think I'm close to it, but there we go. White blaze right there. So the big thing today is I think it's my first 4,000 footer in Killington. And it's going to be a long trudge up Killington. I hope to get in about an 18-mile day. But we'll see what the weather is going to hold in store for me. But with Killington, I used to ski Killington back in my 20s. Enjoyed it. It's a great ski resort in the wintertime. But I do have a personal score to settle with that mountain. And it has to do with Spartan race a few years ago and attempting what they call an ultra beast, which at the time, the distances can vary depending on the venue that Spartan race holds their races. And if you're not familiar with Spartan race, they are an obstacle course racing organization. And they put on races all throughout the United States and the rest of the world. So they've gotten pretty big. And the owner of Spartan Race hopes one day that it will be an Olympic sport. But we'll see about that. But I was into Spartan Race pretty heavily a couple, 3 years ago. And I enjoyed my experience with Spartan Race for sure. And it may not be over, but I went to Killington to do an Ultra Beast, a 33 mile race up and down Killington Mountain. I think that race involved about 6 times up and down various portions of Killington. So I'll explain the rest of that story, but I'm anxious to conquer Killington today and even the score. So let's get on down the trail. Onward! It did rain last night. I know that because I woke up several times to the sound of rain hitting my duplex tent. So I have a small, like 2-mile descent down to a road crossing before Killington comes into play today, and I'm still on that descent. But a lot of the downhill portion involves slippery rock because it was wet from last night, and a lot of the rocks are just like flat slabs in the downhill direction. And it's the kind of thing, if you're not careful, well, for me, if I'm not careful, my feet will go out from under me, which, I've had already several close calls where just both my feet are just kind of sliding down until I can stabilize myself with my trekking poles. So it's the kind of thing where, it seems like kind of a standard fare for, a hike and nothing you'd be worried about, and you take your focus off because it seems like it's relatively, not easy, but not complicated. If that makes sense. But if you're not really paying attention, like, you really have to slow down and maybe take the way around the rock instead of like stepping on the rock, because like I said, it's the kind of thing that'll end my hike. I'll just step on that rock, my feet will go out from under me, and I'll land on my whatever hip or hopefully my butt. But I don't even know how much cushion is left back there. But, I'll be calling for, EMTs to help me out of here. And I don't want that. So I got to take it slow and realize that I can't keep up my same normal expected pace. It can be frustrating, but I got to keep the thought that, hey, just take this one careful step at a time, get through this portion and come out the other side in one piece and still hiking. So I think from here on out, I've got the confidence that physically I'm able to finish this. I'm not sure about mentally. I don't know what's going to happen there because I've never committed to something like this, for 6 months, unless you're counting, whatever relationship or something like that, but nothing like this. So mentally, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's the unexpected injury that can definitely end this thing. And that would be now, since I'm this far into it, not even a third, but it would kind of be devastating mentally and emotionally for me because I just I think I can go all the way. So got to be real careful and not take it all for granted that I can hike this, I can go down this hill and be okay. So that's me. That's how many different thoughts you have going through your head at one time, because you got plenty of time to think out here, that's for sure. So onward. I hear some traffic. There's a road crossing down below, and usually when you hear the traffic, kind of like, all right, I got a road coming up, and it usually takes about 20 more minutes to get down there. So I'll see you down there. Onward. I am not even to the base of Killington yet. I'm 2 hours in my hike, I think about 4 miles, and I'm already exhausted. It was an unexpected climb, steep climb, and it just took the wind out of my sails. I'm drenched from sweat, and my legs are just torched. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with me today, if I'm going to run out of gas early. But right now I'm on a flat part, so it allows me to hold the phone, talk, and walk at the same time. That's 3 things for me, and that is amazing. So anyway, I'm going to get on with the hike, and hopefully there's no more surprises coming up. Onward! All right, I'm on a descent right near a road crossing, kind of right there. And what do I spy? I will show you as I walk down here. Coming up on the road, we're going to investigate this, but you can barely see it. There is a cooler sitting on the side of the trail. So what are the chances that something's in it? Potential trail magic, I would imagine, but might all be gone. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed and see what's going on. Maybe it was abandoned, I don't know. Okay, looks like it might have been abandoned or emptied out. It's the end of the weekend, so it could have been trail magic, I don't know. So no luck that time. Okay, so that cooler was empty, but you can see that little dot down the road right up there. That's a guy driving a lawnmower. He's towing a little trailer. He had a cooler of cold water. He pulled up right when I came out of that trailhead after the disappointing empty cooler. And he said, "Hey, you want a cold water?" I was like, perfect timing. Yes, thank you so much. So anyway, his name was Brett, and he came along right at the right time. It was really cool. I really appreciate the water, Brett. Thanks a lot. So onward! All right, I am about 2,600 feet elevation on Killington right now. It's a 4,000 foot elevation mountain, and I'll probably be climbing upward on a gradual grind for the next couple of miles at least, probably the next couple hours. So it's slow going, it's tough. But there's been no technical parts yet that I've been through. It's just a gradual upward. But my history with this mountain, like I said, I used to come here in my 20s and ski a few times. It's a great ski resort. I just haven't skied in decades, so I'm not sure how it's revered lately. But a few years ago, I came here to participate in a Spartan race known as the Ultra Beast. And the Ultra Beast can be anywhere from probably 26 miles upwards of 32 or 33. And Spartan races in Killington have a big history. Spartan race got its start in pretty much Vermont. Like I said, the owner of Spartan race hails from Vermont. Killington used to be the site of their world championships. And this mountain was always kind of, I guess, in Spartan conversation, this is the hardest mountain race they held. So to complete an Ultra Beast on this mountain would be quite an accomplishment. So I came here to do just that a few years ago. So 33 miles of trail running up and down a mountain with dozens of obstacles thrown in. And Spartan obstacles aren't, they're not child's play. It can be a rope climb. In previous years, the rope used to have kind of knots on it so you could kind of shimmy up it, but they removed the knots. It could be a barbed wire crawl. It could be a heavy carry, like a 5-gallon bucket of gravel or a 20 or 30 pound sandbag, carried up an ascent and back down. Their signature obstacle was a spear throw. If you miss the spear throw, you get one shot. If you miss it or fail any other obstacle, you have to drop down and do 30 burpees. You'll have to Google that if you want to know what that is. It's kind of like a squat thrust. Could be a climbing obstacle, but you get the idea. Some races, not all, used to have a memory obstacle, so it wasn't just a physical challenge, it was mental. So you'd come to a certain point, have to memorize a series of numbers or words, and then miles later, you'd be tested on memory. But anyway, Killington Ultra Beast, you're going up the mountain about 3 times, different sections, and coming back down. Well, that's a beast lap. For an Ultra Beast, it would be going up the mountain about 5 or 6 times and coming back down, plus completing all the obstacles. So on that morning, they let the Ultra Beast people out in the first wave because people were also running a beast lap. I was doing the Ultra Beast, so it was 2 laps. We got to go out first. However, the start was delayed by about 45 minutes. And that kind of played into what happened later. So I completed my first lap, pretty good shape. Went back up for the second lap. And toward the end of the day, I had one more climb and descent to go, along with whatever obstacles were along that part of the course. And the word coming down before the last ascent was there was going to be a time cutoff. If you didn't start on your last ascent by a certain time, you would be asked to leave the course. Actually, they wouldn't ask you, they would tell you to leave the course. They weren't going to let you back up the mountain. And that was for safety reasons, because the onset of darkness, you were required to carry a headlamp just in case you got cut up on the mountain and it got dark on you. But Anyway, once the word spread, a lot of people on the way down trying to make the cutoff started skipping the obstacles. And just like you hear out here, hike your own hike, you gotta, you run your own race. So if those people made the cutoff and they finished the race, but not really finished the obstacles, that's something they live with. I couldn't do it. I knew I was running out of time, but I did my obstacles, and one of them was a darn bucket gravel carry. And I knew what the news was going to be when I got down there. So I got to the bottom of the mountain, and the race official said, "You missed the cutoff by 10 minutes. You're going to have to leave the course." So I walked off, hugely disappointed, but I vowed I would be back to Killington some way, somehow, to avenge my incomplete race. I'm back today, not to race it, but to conquer it in some fashion here. Whatever, huffing and puffing my way up. But it just seems like to get to the top of this thing, I never thought it would be hiking the AT. I thought I would return to try and complete an Ultra Beast there. I didn't. I actually, months later, went to New Jersey in Vernon on a mountain there and finished the Ultra Beast. But in the back of my mind, it was like, yeah, Killington beat me. And today, it's going to feel like, if I'm successful, I think I will be, that I'll get some sort of payback. So Killington, I love you, man. Got a mixed history, but let's get to the top. Onward. Okay, update. I was successful getting to the top of Killington, where the AT crosses at Cooper Lodge. And just to make it dramatic, Killington had to call in a thunderstorm. And about 20 minutes from me getting to the summit, the sky just opened up and just poured cats and dogs. So, but it didn't stop me. Just made it very interesting. So I am soaking wet and pretty happy. I couldn't really celebrate anything because everything was wet. So I'll celebrate later. So Killington, you are mine. We are even. So you know what you can do. So from here forward, the shelter I was considering stopping at is about 2 miles away, and it's on a descent. But the road crossing for Rutland is 4 miles away, so that's about 2 hours, I think, depending on the descent. If it's too technical, it'll take a little bit longer. So it's about 3 p.m., and I'm thinking about going all the way and catching a ride into Rutland tonight, and drying out and seeing how I feel the next day. So the original plan was to get to that shelter, which is about an hour away, and then getting a short walk into Rutland the next morning. So I have plenty of time. It's just going to make my first night in there in a motel or whatever kind of short versus walking into and checking in around 11 or noon or something. So we'll see. I can do either one. I would love to dry out though. So we're hiking onward. All right, I'm at the trailhead on Route 4, just 7 miles outside of Rutland. I'm waiting for a ride into Rutland, get a motel room. I think this is gonna be something like a 19-mile day. And it wasn't without surprises. Killington saved the best for last at the top with the thunderstorm, and it was just like a welcome party. So thanks a lot, Killington. So I'm gonna get some rest, and I'm not sure how many days, maybe 1 or 2, because I got here a day early but late in the day. So I was planning on hiking in tomorrow for a Nero and then a Zero. So I'm not sure what my plans are, how long I'll stay here. One or 2 nights, I don't know. But much needed rest. I got laundry, shower, a little bit of resupply, a little bit of gear replacement, and I'm not sure what else. Food. Where's the food? So I'll see you on the other side of the Zero. Acorn Army, I love you. I'll see you next time. I'm at a place called the Lookout in Vermont. And I'm at a stealth spot. And I'll take you up to the Lookout. It's like a private cabin of sorts, enclosed cabin. And it's got a kind of a lookout stairs up to the roof of the structure. And I haven't been up there yet. I just set up camp. It's kind of late. So anyway, I had 2 zeros in Rutland. And Rutland in Vermont, if you look at the AT coming out of Massachusetts going north, it goes north to Rutland. And then once you're at Rutland, it veers east toward New Hampshire. So right now at the Lookout, I'm about, I think about 29 to 30 miles away from New Hampshire. So day after tomorrow, I should be crossing that border, which gives me a lot of motivation. All right, so back here, just above where I'm stealth camping, is the Lookout. And you can see the Lookout. And we're going to go take a look real quick. But Rutland, 2 zeros, because my second zero, there were severe thunderstorms yesterday. In fact, it knocked out the Wi-Fi and the cable at the motel I was staying at. Didn't want to take 2 zeros, but I think in the end, it's probably a good thing. I got some extra rest. I'm not working on a deadline or anything, so. But weather-wise, I ran into some showers today. So it was on and off with my raincoat, but no big deal. They weren't severe. And I think they're over with for now. So no rain forecast tonight or tomorrow. So we're going to go up this ladder. This freaking ladder. And go take a look. Because right here, you can't see anything. It's all blocked in by the trees that's grown up. I don't know if there was ever a view there or not. But anyway, Rutland is sometimes referred to as the armpit of Vermont. It is the 3rd largest city, I understand. So and it's not my words, as the armpit of Vermont, I took a pit stop there. So, got a haircut. And along with the haircut, I got a facial massage with a hot towel. So first haircut in almost 5 months, which I was happy about. Of course, it's the standard stuff: shower, resupply, laundry. Laundry's the first thing, even before the shower, because you want to put clean clothes on after you take a shower. All right, so we're up here. And whoa, it's pretty much 360. So kind of cool, but I'll just spin around real slow. Yeah, there are mountains up here. Mountains and clouds and trees. It's a great view. I'll get out of the way here. Let me turn this around. Yeah, so this is awesome. In fact, I can see there's a lake like right down in there. And all sorts of things going on up here. So this would be a great spot for sunrise or even a sunset, I guess. But it's amazing. I mean, there are just layers and layers of mountains from here. So if I get up in time, I'll try and catch a sunrise, but no guarantees there. I'm going to get up when I get up. So anyways, 17-mile day after Rutland. I was getting a little antsy there with that second zero. In fact, my legs, it seemed to take a while to just kind of get back in the groove today. But so I still got 30 miles into Hanover, where I am probably going to take a zero because it looks like a cool little place to just hang out maybe. And it'll get me ready for
the push through New Hampshire onto Maine. So New Hampshire is not going to be easy. I already knew that. But so anyway, Rutland was back to Rutland. It was a good experience, except for the motel. Can't recommend that place. But the bus rides to get you to, like, I had to get to my laundromat. It was 2 miles down the road, and you can catch a bus there. And right now they're free. Normally they're like 50 cents wherever you want to go, but it was free to get to the laundromat and a couple of restaurants. But I think I ate at Denny's there like 3 times because it was right next to my motel. But so, all right, we're gonna get something to eat. There is, oh yeah, at the lookout, no water, no privy. It's just like, it's not really an AT shelter. It's just up here, and it's privately owned, I think. But I mean, it's huge. It's got a fireplace inside there. I bet you could throw 20 hikers in there and have a good old time. All right, we'll see you tomorrow, and we're gonna come back up here. This is awesome. All right, Acorn Army, I love you. I'll see you next time.